All right, guys, another boatload of fragrances is dropping soon. I just did a video probably a little less than 2 weeks ago, and there is another slew of fragrances. In fact, I've already started compiling the next video after this as well. But I'm excited for some of these. And you know what? I want to let you know I've smelled some of these, and I'm going to let you know what I think about them. But let me know what fragrances you're excited about. Do add a comment below. Let's get started with the list. We've got a fragrance from Nishane. I got to smell this one as a sample back in July. This is the one I've been waiting for. I know Nishane has had multiple boutique exclusive fragrances. So they had one for Harrods, one for Selfridges, one for the Middle East. This new one, Meant to Be Seen, created by Jordi Fernandez, is worldwide release. And so those of you that are waiting for something new from Nishane, something different, are going to be very happy. It is musky. It's also powdery, featuring violets, bergamot, orris butter, civet, moxolane, sandalwood, akigala wood, ambertolide, and sesame seeds. If you're a powdery, musky fragrance lover with an overdose of orris iris with violet, you're really going to dig this one. It is coming in a pink bottle, and it does say Los Angeles on it, inspired by Marilyn Monroe. I actually got to see the folks behind Nishane recently in Cannes for TFWA, and got to speak to them and got a little bit of insight on what they're doing and all that good stuff. And even though this is a bit different than what Nishane has released, I think with the fact that Jordi Fernandez has a lot of hype, he's becoming a very famous right after Canton Biche. I think this will become popular. What do you guys think? Have you sampled it yet? Do let me know. Add a comment below. So we've got two fragrances from the house of Born to Stand Out, part of their red bottle, really highly concentrated oudi fragrances. And so I actually sat with June of Born to Stand Out, and I'm going to air that video after this video airs. So stay tuned for that. I sat with him during Pitti Fragranza in Florence. It's a fragrance fair in Florence. And we spoke about Dirty Milk, and we spoke about these two fragrances. And I got to smell them. I can't remember which one I liked, but the first one, Black Karak, K-A-R-A-K. It's a kind of like a chai tea that I've had several times when I visit Dubai. Created by Maxime Exler and Veronique Nyberg. It's amberwood, black tea, cardamom, coffee, cypriol, gaiac wood, leather, oud, saffron, and tonka. It was oudi with the idea of this kind of like a chai tea thing. And of course in their red bottles, so it's highly concentrated. 60% concentration came up. So really, really highly concentrated. So the next one is called Black Creme, created by Canton Biche. It's ambrette, candle wax, iris, milk, spices, leather, myrrh, oud, vanilla, amber, caramel, Georgie wood, sandalwood. Both of them, I think, are worth checking out, especially if you are fans of Born to Stand Out. I do also want to say I actually visited Givaudan while I was in Paris recently. Didn't get to meet Canton Biche, sadly. His assistant was there, and I got to smell Georgie wood. An amazing, amazing smell. If those of you that really like ISOE Super, but you want something a bit more strong, like more intense, Georgie wood is really awesome. And I also got to smell Akigala wood while I was there as well, which Givaudan perfumers use quite a bit. So Akigala wood by Givaudan is, I don't know if there's a lot of hate for it, but I think it's basically a cleaned up patchouli. It's kind of a dark, woody, clean patchouli. A lot of people are uptight against, amber woods and things like that, but Akigala wood doesn't smell like amber woods. It just smells like a very cleaned up, subtle smell of patchouli. I really liked it, but Georgie wood was the surprise, which is also a Givaudan proprietary ingredient. All right, so we've got a fragrance from the house of Comme des Garçons. It's called Classic Perdu, which I did shoot a video. I'm not sure if it'll air before this video. Maybe it will. Who knows? But it's a Suzy Lahele creation. She's becoming a really popular perfumer over at Simrise, and I got to meet her recently while in Cannes for TFWA. I'll smell it for you on camera just to let you know a little bit more about it. So this is the presentation, and the bottle was inside. I bought this in Paris, at the Galerie Lafayette, and I left it to do an unboxing, so stay tuned for the unboxing. It's tomato leaves, blackcurrant, permanent marker accord, lavender, clary sage, rose, iris, suede, evernyl, sandalwood, and styrax. It does remind me a little bit of L'Ombre d'En L'eau, but it's different. Kind of similar idea, but I really loved it. I smelled it at the Galerie Lafayette, and I said I want to buy it. And you know, look at the bottle. It's a very unique bottle, and it's very, very Comme des Garçons. So anyway, stay tuned for the video for that, but let me know if you're curious to smell that. Next, going to the house of room 1015, Electric Wood Extrait de Parfum. It's a new extrait of an existing fragrance, but the existing fragrance has been discontinued. I wasn't really a fan of Electric Wood. It was a really boring fragrance for me. I just didn't care for it. But I really love the Extrait de Parfum. They've completely redone the fragrance, and they only have it in Extrait de Parfum now. The OG original EDP has been discontinued. Once again, Electric Wood Extrait de Parfum is created by Jerome de Marino. It's cardamom, nutmeg, saffron, myrrh, oak moss, orris root, cedar, cypriol, vanilla, and vetiver. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed Jerome de Marino's fragrances. He does some great work. I really, really love what he does. Especially for Une Nuit Nomade, he did Jardin de Misfa. Love that fragrance. This one is also quite good. And he's been doing quite a few fragrances for the House of Room 1015. Let me know if you've sampled this one. I think it's going to be popular. Next, going to the House of Zoologist Perfumes. It's Portuguese Man o' War, created by Antoine Lee, featuring notes of ginger, immortelle, saffron, jasmine sambac, geranium, gunpowder, Fucus Absolute, Tonka, and Sandalwood. I'm not too familiar with this animal, so I don't know what to expect with this fragrance. So I got to get familiar with this animal to kind of understand. Maybe it's completely different inspiration. I don't know, but who's gotten their nose on this? Let me know. Add a comment below. I'd love to find out, but I'm curious to sample it either way. All right, going to the house of Amouage. I believe this is an exclusive fragrance, but I'm not 100% sure. It's called Sindbad, created by Pierre Negrin. Pierre Negrin has created probably one of the most popular fragrances for Amouage up until Guidance, called Interlude Man. So Guidance is probably the most popular fragrance now for Amouage, but Pierre Negrin has created Sindbad. It's honey, cardamom, ginger, mango, apricot, tangerine, black tea, davana, cappuccino, cedar, cypriol, labdanum, tonka, vanilla, and vetiver. Sounds totally different than what I expect from Amouage, but they are, releasing different styles of fragrances to appeal to a wider audience, I'm assuming, because a lot of their fragrances up until the new creative director that came on the scene in 2020 were lots of heavy incensey, ambery, resinous kind of experiences, but now they are appealing a bit wider, like opening up their catalog to a lot more people to appreciate. What do you guys think of Amouage and their latest fragrances? Do add a comment below. And are you a fan of Pierre Negrin? I think the one I really love from Amouage is, what was it called? It's the Tobacco with Leather. It's created by Pierre Negrin with Alberto Morillas. I'm drawing a blank with that. It's the red bottle. It's one of my favorites. In fact, it might be my number one favorite. But why am I... Journeyman. Journeyman is so good from Amouage. It's also Renaud Salmon, who is the new creative, recent creative director. But I really love Journeyman. I think it's one of the best. Really love its intensity. The spices and the leather is it's like you can feel the actual ingredients when you wear that fragrance. That's why I really love it. But let's see what Sindbad is all about. Moving on to the house of Maison Mataha, another gourmand created by Vincent Ricord. It's probably the third fragrance for this house created by Vincent. I just did a video on Maison Mataha, and I had shot it way before this fragrance was announced. So unfortunately, I can't control things like that because some brands are releasing a lot of fragrances. So this is now launching. I believe it's already launched. I haven't got my nose on it, but the notes breakdown features biscuits, coffee, vanilla, hazelnuts, musk, praline, and tonka beans. This is another gourmand, and the brand does a lot of gourmands, although Printemps Blanc is a bit less of a gourmand, but in a kind of a gourmand way, like an orange blossomy musky thing. Houbigant has a new fragrance called Tonka Sublime. It's in the red bottle. And actually, when I was in Cannes for the show that I went to, the TFWA show, Houbigant has a boutique there now. So I met the brand there, and I got to sample the Tonka. I love Tonka beans and fragrances, and this did seem like it was going into a slight gourmand direction, but it wasn't a full-on gourmand. Created by Gianluca Paris, it's amber, sandalwood, Tonka beans, jasmine, davana, star anise, neroli, almonds, and mirabelle plums. Yeah, I like to circle back to it. I enjoyed it when I first smelled it, but I want to get my nose on it further. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to their boutique in Paris. I think they have 2 boutiques now. The one in Cannes was gorgeous, and they have a lot of historic things there as well. And, you know, it's a historic brand, obviously. They have Fougère Royale, Houbigant's, I think it was one of their first fragrances. And Fougère Royale came out in the late 1800s, so it's a historic fragrance. And so that's why I like the fact that they opened a store or 2 stores, and if you go to their stores, you get to experience some of their historic things. And I meant to go to the one in Paris, but just didn't have time. But thankfully, I went to the one in Cannes, and I got to see some of their historic. Displays and books and bottles and all that kind of stuff, and then sample this Tonka Sublime. All right, BDK has a brand new fragrance, and I got to sample it at Printemps in Paris. It's called Vanille Caviar, created by Alexandra Carlan. So it's another vanilla that goes into a dark territory, not necessarily super gourmandy territory. I felt like it was a bit smoky and also dark and resinous, maybe balsamic also. But it has calamus, cassis, vanilla, cacao, osmanthus, labdanum, vanilla, and Peru balsam. I didn't wear it, but it wasn't one that really excited me when I tested it on strip. And so I'd like to test it further because I love vanilla and fragrances. This is Vanille Caviar. I don't know where the name Caviar comes from, but I'd like to experience it a little more. Let me know your thoughts on BDK's Vanille Caviar. What do you think? Do you enjoy it? Do add a comment below. And do you like the idea of vanilla fragrances when brands are trying to avoid the trend of creating super gourmands, but they want to do a vanilla fragrance, but they're deciding to go into a darker direction, not necessarily, combining sugary, cookie, cakey, caramelly, a sticky kind of ingredients? Let me know. Add a comment below. And do you have a favorite dark vanilla fragrance? Let me know. Add a comment below. But next, Electimuss London has a new fragrance called MCX, created by Sofia Bardelli. It's pink pepper, cardamom, bergamot, tuberose, iris, violet, ambergris, caramel, musk, cashmere wood, tonka, vanilla, cedar, and oud. Let's see what it's all about. I like the look of the bottle. I like the name. I'm curious what it's all about. But Louis Vuitton has a new fragrance in the extracts collection called Fantasmagory. Very interesting name. Created by Jacques Cavalier Belletrude, who's been creating a lot of their fragrances, obviously. This is almonds, ginger, and vanilla. It's a gourmand, it seems like. And I don't know of any gourmands that Louis Vuitton has. And they used to have a vanilla launched with the first batch of fragrances. It's discontinued. I do have like a half bottle of it left, and it was a vanilla with ambrette seeds, so it was not like super gourmandy vanilla, but I enjoyed it. It was musky and slightly boozy fruity, but also vanillic. But of course, the Jacques Cavalier created fragrances for Louis Vuitton are kind of on that watery side that I've been mentioning in videos, especially for the fact that this fragrance is created by him, and he created that kind of watery aquatic style. So he kind of brought it to the fragrances of Louis Vuitton as well. Not everything is like that, but the first batch of launches were like that. And so I kind of get that. Let's see what this Fantasmagory is, but it is in the extracts bottle with those, very ornamental caps. So we'll see what it's all about. But next we've got a fragrance from the house of eccentric molecules. It's Molecule 1 plus Cistus, created by Geza Schoen, Cistus Absolute, and ISOE Super. So this is just one release this time. They have the iris, patchouli, mandarin that was dropped together first. Then they did black tea, gaiac wood, and ginger that was dropped together. And now they've got just the Cistus. Cistus is a plant, the rock rose, that they use to create the amber accord in fragrances, combining it with resins and balsams and vanilla. So let's see how this is. Cistus is kind of sticky, pasty, and also smoky. And if you've ever smelled the rock rose, it grows. In California, I've seen the plants. I don't think it's native here. I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of brands use Cistus from the Mediterranean. It grows pretty, widely. And of course, I was recently on the island of Elba in Italy, and there was a lot of cistus plants growing there. So it's got a very distinct smell. It's also quite sticky when you touch it, and obviously they make it into kind of a resinous paste, so it's sticky to the touch. So let's see what this Molecule 1 plus Cistus is going to be all about. I love this collection. I love eccentric molecules, and I'm really looking forward to Molecule 1 plus Cistus. All right. Arquiste has a brand new fragrance called Nocturnality. So it sounds like it's going to be kind of an animalic fragrance created by Rodrigo Flores Rue of Givaudan. It's Atlas Cedar, Castoreum, Civet, Indonesian Patchouli, Styrax, Hydrocarboracine, Black Leather, Bulgarian Rose, Night Blooming Flowers, Shoe Polish, Malabar Pepper, Neoprene, Hyraceum, Indian Papyrus, Latex. What a combo of notes, right? What the heck is Hydrocarboracine and Malabar Pepper? I'm sure it's discoverable, something peppery. But Shoe Polish, I haven't seen in fragrances. Neoprene, I don't think I have seen it. Hyraceum, basically it's hyrax. It's an animal dropping from Africa. It's also known as Africa stone. Latex, this sounds like a very adventurous fragrance. Animalic for sure, because they've got Civet, Castoreum, and Hyraceum. This sounds very, very daring. We'll see what it's all about. Are you curious about this one? Do add a comment below. Next, it's What We Do Is Secret Covert Musk, created by Anique Menardo. It's acacia, honey, Ylang-Ylang, musk. Do you guys enjoy What We Do Is Secret? They used to be called A Lab on Fire. They changed their name. I don't know what the reason, but there must have been something legal that came up. But they've been kind of behind the scenes lately, but I'm looking forward to Covert Musk, although it doesn't really sound like it's very musky, especially for the fact that it's got Ylang-Ylang and an acacia and honey, so it's a bit floral. It almost sounds like bee, actually, the fact that it has these notes, bee from Zoologist Perfume. So we'll see what it's all about. But then we've got a fragrance from the house of Mancera. It's called Ombre Tonka, featuring oud, tonka, pistachios, bergamot, rose, amberwood, benzoin, vanilla, and patchouli. So this is their second Tonka fragrance. They have Tonka Cola, which is more gourmand, and I assume this is going to be more oudy and maybe slightly vanillic ambery as well. Pistachio, it's kind of interesting. Tonka does have a nuttiness, and they do mix pistachios together. I'm not sure about the oud, but you know, Mancera does great gourmandy kind of oudy fragrances, so I'm curious what this one's all about. So if you've gotten your nose on it, do let us know. Add a comment below. 3 more fragrances, guys. We've got 2 from Montal, first of which is Starry Nights Intense. And this fragrance is an intense take on the original Starry Nights, which I'm not too familiar with. I'm curious to see what it's all about, but it's bergamot, rose, lemons, apples, patchouli, amber, woodsy notes, white musk, and vanilla. Who's a fan of the original Starry Nights, and are you looking forward to the Intense? Are you guys liking the Montal and Mancera intense creations? Are they turning out to be really intense? Are they different takes on the fragrances? What are your thoughts? I know they've got quite a bit of intense fragrances now, both at Montal and Mancera, since they are sister houses. But let me know what your thoughts are on their intense versions of their existing fragrances, and if you're looking forward to Montal's Starry Nights Intense. And the second fragrance from Montal is called Be My Plum, featuring green plums, pink pepper, coconut, cashmere musk, vanilla sugar, tuberose, plum blossom, tiar flower, Ylang-Ylang, and Cambodian oud. I think plums are kind of becoming a little trendy. I'm seeing them pop up, especially different types of plums rather than your traditional, purple, reddish purple colored plums. This is green plums, and remember, I also read something with Mirabelle plums. But so let's see what this one's all about. And the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about today, until we get to the bonus section, it's the latest fragrance from the House of Imaginary Authors. It's the Abandoned Mansion, created by Josh Meyer. It's cedar, oak moss, ambrine, pimento, petitgrain, and quince. Quince is a fruit that I enjoy the smell of more than the taste. Obviously, if you know anything about quince, it's not very edible when it's raw. It's a lot of jams are made from it, quince chutney and things like that, jam, because my family was always making jam from it, and it always tasted good. The fruits themselves are very fragrant. It's almost like a floral, fruity smell, and I enjoy it, but there's not a lot of fragrances. I wonder how potent the quince is going to be in the Abandoned Mansion. It almost seems like this fragrance is launching just in time for Halloween, because it's giving me Halloween vibes. What are your thoughts? But either way, I'm excited for this one. I'll check it out. And that's the last fragrance for you guys until we get to the bonus section. Let me know which fragrances you're most excited about. Do add a comment below. And if there's anything that I did not mention that you're already, noticed that is launching soon, let us know. Do add a comment what it is, and so we can find out. If you're curious to watch more of these videos, I do them once every 2 weeks or so. So you can search for new fragrances, and it should bring up a lot of different videos to watch and find out what's on the horizon. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching. Like this video, please share it. Also, click the bell icon after you click the subscribe button, so you'll be notified for future videos. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. See you guys later. Bye-bye. All right, so Puig has announced that they are relaunching Agua Brava in a more luxurious format, in addition to 3 other fragrances in a collection of Agua fragrances. Puig is a brand, see Puig right there. And Puig is also a conglomerate. They distribute brands. Comme des Garçons, Jean-Paul Gaultier. They distribute Paco Rabanne, Carolina Herrera. There's a lot. Dries Van Noten, Christian Louboutin. All of these brands are under Puig. And so they are, they distribute these brands, and they're constantly launching, fragrances and luxury fragrances from a lot of the brands that they have. So Puig has announced that they are launching a Agua Brava collection, and I recently bought Agua Brava. I hadn't owned this fragrance for the longest time. It was in a haul video, and this original OG Agua Brava was $13 for this. Do you guys know this fragrance? If you don't know Puig, as far as their fragrances go, their most famous is Quorum, but it could be Agua Brava, the sprayer too. It's they don't make sprayers like this anymore. But this is kind of like Pinot Silvestre, I think, similar kind of piney, aromatic, spicy, woody fragrance with a lot of citruses. So it's very, very classic. So what they've done is taken, I guess, the formula and updated them, and all 4 of the fragrances in this collection that's launching, which is quite pricey, by the way, because this is, as I said, $13. It's a 100 ml for $13. Now, I think the new fragrances are around $200. So are they going to discontinue this? And then, they have the new luxury offerings, but all 4 are created by Jean-Claude Ellena, which is kind of cool that he's created these. Of course, he was really great over at Hermes, and he's done fragrances for I think Laboratorio Olfativo. Yeah, he's done fragrances for Laboratorio Olfativo and a few other brands, Paris, Monte Carlo, and I believe Houbigant as well. And now he's done these 4. So the redo of Agua Brava is clary sage, corn mint, lavender, oak moss, savory, and woods. Savory is a type of herb. So I really love this bottle. I love the color as well. It's a very iconic bottle. And the new bottles seem also pretty, amped up. So they look a bit more luxurious. But I kind of like this one. And I'll keep this now that I have it, because I don't know the certainty of this fragrance and what's going to happen now that they're launching this collection of 4 new fragrances in the Agua Brava series of fragrances. But the next one is Agua Noble. It's a Jean-Claude Ellena once again. It's bergamot, mandarin orange, orange blossom, orange leaves, lemon, Spanish leather. So all these citruses drying down to a leather. Citrus, fruits and leaves and all that good stuff. Sounds great. I love that combo of something very fresh and citrusy, a sweet tart perhaps, maybe zingy, and then drying down to a leathery touch. I like that idea. The other one is called Agua Mediterranea, and it's bitter orange, cedarwood, fig leaves, and mint. So this one sounds completely fresh and green, and maybe a bit bitter and woody as well. Fig leaves are green and woody, and so I like the idea of this one too. I like the idea of all of them. And again, this is such an iconic fragrance. I'm curious to explore this series. I don't know when I'll be able to do it, when I can get my nose on these fragrances, where I'm going to get my nose on these fragrances, perhaps while I'm traveling, because I don't know if any stores will bring it near me. And then finally, Agua Lavanda. So Agua Lavanda Iris. And again, it's Jean-Claude Ellena, the perfumer, creating all 4 of these. And this features lavender, white iris, ambrette, seeds, and angelica. I'm very, very excited for this collection. And again, this is a very iconic fragrance. It's cheap. It's about $13. Get it as soon as you can if you are into these kind of fragrances, because I don't know the certainty of this. Once these launch, will they be producing this fragrance anymore? Because as I said, these are priced higher. somewhere, I'm not 100% sure about the price, but I thought I read somewhere they were around $200. So if that's true or not, we'll find out. It's just been announced. I'm very excited about it. We'll see what they've done with it. Judging by the fact that Jean-Claude Ellena did these, they should be good. But honestly, though, I like Jean-Claude Ellena's work for Hermes, but like he's created these fragrances for Paris Monte Carlo in the white bottles. There's a lavender, a jasmine, and a rose. I didn't really care for those that much. And then the Laboratorio Olfativo citrus fragrances were extremely light. So let's see if these are going to be substantial, if they're going to smell really great. I really love his work for Hermes. He's done some amazing work there, especially the Jardin series, the Terre de Hermes, you name it. He's done some great work. So I don't know how great these are going to be. I am a bit disappointed with especially the Paris Monte Carlo fragrances he did in those white bottles, that they weren't that good to me. I don't know. But if you've gotten your nose on these, let us know. Add a comment below. And thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. If you have any questions or comments, as I said, please list below. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.